Accessibility and usability may be buzzwords in the design world, but they are so much more than that. They are the foundation of good design and the key to creating products and experiences that are truly inclusive and user friendly. Hi everyone, welcome to 10 Minutes of Design with Chinedu Unfiltered. Here, we'll be talking about UX design, product strategy, products people use and how they make them feel, the latest technologies, and how it is used by UX designers. All this from a professional, data driven, and personal view, which is undiluted. In today's episode, we'll be talking about accessibility and usability, the mumbo jumbo word of the design world. Do we really practice it? When I first came across the two words, accessibility and usability, it made so much sense to me instantly. I understood their importance and relevance when building products, be it for digital or physical reason. They weren't just words, they are meant to be the core foundation of the design thinking process. They are the glue that holds things together, but without them, we'll be unable to cater for the people who really need the product we design or manage. So many projects don't consider the relevance of accessibility and usability in their process. Quite a lot of projects actually. These are always an afterthought. This could be as a result of so many factors. Some of those factors are number one, finance. When a company doesn't have the financial capacity to employ skilled professionals to execute what needs to be executed. Number two, knowledge and skills to execute. Knowledge and skills to execute is paramount to achieving accessibility and usability in every product. Some companies might be unable to understand the relevance of how it affects their bottom line, and the reason not to get the right people to make it happen. Number three, lack of skilled professionals. Proper skills to execute will 10x a product in a very short amount of time. By getting the right people with the right skill, you are set to make the product what it is meant to be. Number four, not understanding the value. Understanding plays a vital role in the way people or organizations accept the relevance of accessibility and usability when organizations see the impact. They tend to want to invest more in what helps them retain customers and make them more money. Number five, lack of stakeholders buy-in. Stakeholders' end goal will always be to meet the bottom line because they believe that it is the engine that oils the vehicle, without considering the importance of accessibility and usability as the entire concept that makes it possible for the vehicle to move at first. Number six, lack of designer awareness. Many designers simply aren't educated about the importance of inclusive design principles or the impact that inaccessible products can have on people's lives. It's also worth considering the biases that exist within the design community. Too often, designers fall into the trap of designing for themselves or for the perceived average user, neglecting the diverse range of needs and abilities that exist in the real world. Accessibility and usability are the pillars of inclusive design. They ensure that product, services, and the environment are usable by as many people as possible, regardless of their abilities or disabilities. Now, let's define what accessibility and usability is. I mean, what's the relevance of this podcast, right? If I can't break down things to your understanding. Wink, wink. What is accessibility? Accessibility has multiple definitions for different industries, but all plays to the tone of things being usable. But we will be sticking with the general term. Accessibility means the quality of something being usable, reachable, obtainable, or easy to understand or enjoy. For example, wheelchair ramps in buildings, dark and light mode on smart devices, image alt text when images are uploaded on socials, voice to text on devices, screen readers on smart devices, voice commands on smart devices. These examples are a few accessibility functionality that has been implemented on both digital and physical devices to aid people with disability go through life with ease. So what is usability? Usability has just one universal definition and is straight to the point. Usability is the quality attribute that measures how easy a product can be used. This can also refer to the quality of a user's experience when interacting with products or systems. Usability is about effectiveness, efficiency, and overall satisfaction of the user. It is centered around the user, and if a product fails to be usable, then it has failed to meet the business need. So what am I trying to communicate here? Accessibility could be a secondary thought for a lot of organizations, and that is because a significant percentage of their customers might not be experiencing any form of disability. But that doesn't negate the fact that it is very much required and relevant to that little percentage of people for the singular purpose of inclusivity. Usability is a trump card. Products that lack this are unable to satisfy any type of customers. One of the core words that was picked from the definition of usability is user experience. If a user experience is terrible, then there is no way users can get any form of satisfaction from such a product or process. An integral part of being a professional is knowing how to make things usable and accessible. And failing in this would inadvertently put the users or customers in a situation of confusion, and this could ruin their experience. I could remember in 2022, I used a very popular fintech product in Nigeria a lot for transactions and savings. I believe it was the same year their web channel was launched. One thing struck me during login on the product. I was told to enter my email address and password, and after I do this, I will still have to provide a code that will be sent to my registered mobile number, or I could request for a one-time PIN, also known as OTP, through the mobile application. Now, this all makes sense until we get to the point where I get an error message to notify me if the email address and password I got was correct or not. I am supposed to get the error message immediately I click on continue CTA before selecting the options to either get the OTP via my mobile application or my registered mobile number. Keep in mind that at this point of requesting for an OTP, I haven't received an error message to notify me if my email address was wrong. Now, my question will be centered around customers' ability to access their mobile application every time they want to log in through the web channel, and at the same time, should a user or customer get an error message once they enter a wrong email address or password? This could be a problem, but then there's also the option for requesting for an OTP using your registered mobile number. This all sounds like a very complex process to access a customer's account, right? I'm not sure if you are following, but if you are, that means you're on the same page, which is great. I was so confused why I was asked to do all this. In my mind, I just concluded that it is for security reasons, since no web sessions can be trusted 100% to be safe. I continued, knowing fully well that I had double authentication in place, and without any worry, can proceed with my activities. That was when I experienced the blocker. The error message I got was directly on the OTP request screen and not on the sign-in screen. This error message was to inform me that my email address and password is not correct based on my previous or my prior activity. Get this, I had finished the process of entering my email address and password. I clicked on continue to access my account and felt confident that I had entered the right detail because I had been taken to the next screen, and then I ended up with a message that was for the previous page on a new page. I didn't understand at first because I had never seen an experience so out of place before, so I did what I know how to do best. I tried it again and again, and I got the same result. As UX designers, when we think about designing interactions or creating usable experiences, we think about it from a streamlined perspective where we are in the user's shoes and want to feel exactly what they are feeling. Worst is that I was unable to go back to the previous screen unless I click on the back button on the browser. At this point, any user or customer who isn't familiar with a particular browser would get stuck and they will have to click the logo in order to start afresh. There was something definitely wrong with the flow, so I did what I know how to do best. I redesigned the login flow without taking anything away. All I did was put everything in place exactly where they are meant to be, and I shared it on my social media. I even went as far as sharing it with the head of design in that company, and I didn't get a response. Neither was my request accepted. I also shared with the designers from that company I know, and they all agreed that there's something definitely wrong with the flow. I wonder how it went past QA. I recently checked the login process today and it still remains as is. No changes have been made whatsoever. Anyway, as a product designer, I could fixate on every experience in a journey. That's my job, and that's what I have always trained for. I always like to be in a situation where everything I design for can be explained when asked for reason by the stakeholders. If we can't make our experiences usable or accessible, then we are not doing right by the users or customers. Experiences should be slick. It should instill confidence in the users and should bring positive feedback to the team. So, how do we make sure that whatever we design for has an element of accessibility or usability? Number one, education and awareness. Product people need to be trained in inclusive design principles from the outset, and companies should prioritize accessibility and usability as key components of their design process. Collaboration. Product people, engineers, researchers, and users should work together throughout the design process to identify potential accessibility barriers and test solutions in real-world scenarios, making sure it is what we think of first and what we think of last. While designing, we could be carried away by multiple forces. It could be internal or external, but it is very important that we're able to trace back our journey and make sure we give the users or customers the best experience. Finally, advocacy. Product people have a powerful platform to advocate for accessibility and usability within their organizations and beyond. By speaking up and championing inclusive design practices, we can create a more accessible and equitable world for everyone. Designing for accessibility and usability isn't just the right thing to do ethically, it is also good for business. Inclusive design opens up products and services to a wider range, tapping into markets that might otherwise be overlooked. Plus, creating products that are intuitive and easy to use can lead to increased customer satisfaction and loyalty. So let's recap. Accessibility and usability may be buzzwords in the design world, but they are so much more than that. They are the foundation of good design and the key to creating products and experiences that are truly inclusive and user-friendly. Accessible and usable products can open up a new type of opportunity for businesses that might have initially been overlooked. Education, skills, and execution should be part of a designer's key intentions when executing great experiences. Accessibility and usability not only makes devices better, but makes the world a better place. Practicing and preaching the importance of accessibility would go a long way in bringing it to the forefront of everything we design. I hope this has been helpful and enlightening to you. Kindly tune in to my next episode. Till next time, signing out, Chinedu.